Hi guys, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be having a look at the interior that I've just finished of the 6th rate ship of the line. So if the tutorial isn't out for this one yet, it's going to be very soon. If you're actually getting this from the description of the video, of the actual tutorial, then yeah, this is what it is. It's basically what I've done. So again, we're in Conquest, which gives us all the extra blocks. In the tutorial, of course, I'll go over all the rest of the ship. This is just to show you guys what ideas I came up with for using Conquest and actually using the ship. You also notice I'm holding a redstone torch as a candle. It's just so that it gives it a little bit more light, so it's a bit clearer for you guys. Basically what I've done is filled it with junk completely. Like, this is very much my style of interiors. Even though this is obviously on deck, you know, very spammy, but it works really nicely. So I'm just going to kind of go through what I put on the deck, kind of block wise and material wise. Just simple stuff like using the rope block and then using these are rails. Yeah, they're rails within the actual ocean biomes. They will actually default as long as you have it optified so that you actually get the rope. So I just made it look like that's kind of got some rope on there, and there's a little bit that hasn't been kind of tied off properly, just to make it a little bit more interesting, and it works really nicely. Also got the flower pot variations there. We got some yellow carpet, which is the hay dispensers there. That's what I've been using for the cannonballs. I think that they're kind of the closest. I mean, we could use one of the flower pot variations, but occasionally you get, well, occasionally it just comes up with a load of plants in them, and they sometimes don't go away. So that's why I've gone for these as well as being able to change the direction of them, of course, which is really useful. So that's kind of why I've used those. We've got obviously crates, we've got some netting, some wood as well, just tied up for repairs and things on the ship if need be. Got some food out here, and also I've got an empty barrel, which is the cauldron in... which one's this? In ocean, yeah, that's in ocean as well. So a cauldron in ocean will actually be this kind of wooden one. You'll notice that some of the sides aren't like that. It's probably because I've changed this biome here. Or not, actually, not with that one. Yeah, so maybe not. But I don't want to change it just in case I affect everything down there. So yep, more crates, more stuff, some fish in a barrel. Using the coal block variation, so this is a block of coal, but it's actually the first... there we go. It's the first kind of metadata of that is kind of like a boxed up version of the coal block. This kind of looks, I guess, kind of like a load of... I don't know what it looks like. It's a load of stuff. Maybe gunpowder or something, I don't know. I didn't want to use TNT just in case it does blow up, because I'm kind of not really reckless, a little bit careless with it, especially when I put down redstone torches as candles. I'm sure I'd blow up the ship at some point. So there we go, there's my wheel as well, using the trapdoor, and you can see here, if I do it on the top part, you actually get this one. If you do it on the bottom, you'll get that one. So it's quite interesting, and that biome is Tiger Hills that I've done. I'm sure if it actually rains, some bits will snow. I've started to block up some of those, but I'm going to do it. Now that it's finished, I'll actually go in and make it rain, see where basically the snow falls, and build an invisible glass box way up in the sky. That's how to stop it from actually snowing when it's in rainy weather. And I might show it rainy weather right at the end. Yeah, might as well do that. So, more kind of similar stuff, more rope and hay on the ground, more nets and bottles, and like just torches kind of like every so often. Same as in the crow's nest type areas. I've got a couple of them there, and that'll go all the way up to the top, so, you know. That's just to give it a little bit more lighting at night. I'll show that as well at night time. Obviously got the bell. I've just put invisible glass around here because it's on the server. This means that people can't right click on it and it will disappear and appear somewhere else. So I've just blocked that basically, so it's good. More empty buckets around here and stuff. Right here you'll notice that one of the flaps down here is open. Now using this is really good because it creates interest down there. You know that something's down there then, if somebody's walking around and they just see a little bit of that gold, especially. And actually that shouldn't be gold. It's weird, I need to switch that back. I'll do that when I'm down there. But yeah, so you'll be able to see that when you're down, kind of looking just there, you'll just get a glimmer of some different colours. So I've tried to make sure that on that table, and that's a table down there, that there's a little bit of colour. But you also notice this flap is intentionally open and there's smoke coming out of it. So that means that there's some activity cooking-wise going down there, so I've actually thought about that as well, where the actual smoke would go out of. I've just put it down there, and it just goes up through the raft, so when you're actually looking at the entire ship, you don't really notice it too much, but it is still contained within, so when you're actually looking at the detail side of it, you can go, oh yeah, there's actually a smoke trail going up that way. And again, making sure that this blows with the wind. That's quite an important thing. I'm sure somebody would do it on the other side and then have it going that way, and it would look a little bit weird because you've got the wind direction going this way. So the smoke has to get blown that way. I could have accentuated it a bit more and pushed it even more to be more realistic, but then you'd, of course, from side angles, you'd actually see it a lot clearer, and I didn't want that. So as long as it's going in the general direction, even if it's not 100% correct, that's fine. Got more stuff, more barrels, some flies around. This one, obviously it's been left out in the sun too long. Got another bottle. Yeah, they're not great as this Navy. This is like a Royal Navy ship, so oh well. But back in those days they were kind of like that. So I've also got the other type of flower pot variation. That's the one I was planning on using for cannonballs, but it turned out that you just get a load of plants if you spam them too much, as I'm working on the black pearl interior as well. And I tried using that, it went a bit weird. But yeah, just on this side, pretty much the same. Lots of food and nets and things. Let's work our way up. More of the kind of gunpowdery type stuff. Just tried out the netting. What was this? The glass pane one. Yeah, I tried out that one. It looks okay. You know, it looked okay, but I preferred the web one. I think that just looks a bit more 3D. So I got more stuff on the floor, and this hay could also be just nets on the floor. So yeah, and I've kind of used it for both. More stuff in bottles and like a little torch here. If we go over to this front area, just got a cannonball in, and also got just a pot there. That's actually a chamber pot. Usually you'd go to the bathroom in a pot and then basically tip it out, and that's good access from the crew quarters to get into there. Now what I've actually got on the front is an eagle. So I've actually grabbed from the player head database, I've actually grabbed an eagle. So you got that one there, so I threw that on the front, and the reason being is because I've named this ship. It's called, here we go, the HMS Eagle. So it makes sense to have an eagle on the front. So HMS Eagle, which is a 6th rate. You also notice down here that you can actually see into the ship. I've actually lined up, well, I kind of wanted this so that if you were flying around and you just saw it, you could actually see in and go, oh, there's something in there. But the other reason was, basically, I wanted to tie up the rudder. So we've got the rudder down here, and it is quite difficult to see, but I think if I actually hold a redstone torch, it gets a bit easier. There you go. So I wanted to actually tie up the rudder to the actual wheel up here. So I've tried to get that to go through the ship, but I've not tried to do it exact. I've just tried to make it look like there is a line going to it. So I'll show that when we get down into the interior. Which we'll do now, actually. Let's go for a wander and go down. There's not really anything up in the rafts going up into the sails at all. I couldn't really fit anything when I actually went up here. The only thing I could really fit was like a torch here, basically. There wasn't really anything else. I think, yeah, I did get one up there. There you go. So yeah, I've just got those ones. The good thing about this new design and with all of these ones is you can actually just jump across these, which is kind of fun. Doing like little parkour-y type stuff, just jumping across the rafts. And yeah, so let's just go down anyway. I'm just going to drop down. Jump. So, got the little stairway that I showed in the tutorial. Now we go down into the deck. This is the main gun deck. This is of course a 20 gun 6th rate, so it's a smaller 6th rate. In terms of Minecraft, it's a little bit bigger, and scale-wise, it's actually bigger than a real one would be for 20 guns. But I've started to scale up my sailing ships because it makes it look a lot better. You can get a lot more detail in, and the shape is just generally better. So I've started doing that, so I'll probably go through and, as I keep on doing that, keep a little bit of a larger scale. Now here we've got this white wool. That's actually to symbolise canvas, like a canvas material that can get pulled over. And I've just put in these wooden buttons just to, well, detail, basically, just to make it look like it's been tied down somehow. This is actually the medical part of it. So if there's anybody wounded or is diseased, they can actually go over here. Traditionally, they would actually get people into these areas because you've got the kind of air, you've got the sea air that's supposed to be fresh. It's supposed to help you get better, basically. So what have I done to make it feel kind of a little bit medical? Got the knives. Yeah, I know, a bit gruesome, but a lot of the time on ships, like they did have a lot of, like, say if the wood had exploded after a battle and you got loads of chips of wood and gigantic splinters, they would probably amputate your legs. So I've got those knives there. A little bit of blood here. Obviously, this guy that's been sitting in here has been his leg chopped off. Got over here, we've got some basically patient notes. So So I actually got them on the wall. A little bit of water over here, candle just for light, as well as this little drawer that could have just general stuff in it. This is just to symbolise herbs, so I got some herbs in there as well. So there you go, blood and yeah, like hay type stuff. So yeah, pretty simple, but I think you can tell that it is. And of course that does go out into the front area. So if we go down here, you'll notice that this is just jam-packed with stuff. I actually really like this deck. That's really cool. So the closest I could get to hammocks, the one that I did on the HMS Victory was just floating beds, and I hated it. So I've tried to basically use these nets as to symbolise hammocks. It's the closest I can kind of get to it, and it does kind of feel like them. I'm actually just going to switch over this as well. Let's just switch over this. What biome have we got here? River. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. So there we go. So we've got some coins there as well. But anyway, yeah. So that was the closest I could get to hammocks, and I think they look okay. Because what would happen is on a ship you'd actually have the hammocks usually between the guns. So yeah, they didn't really have much much personal space. You'd have a load of them like hanging up right next to the guns or in between the guns, just like this. So I've put in these little pillars here to make it look like it's supported. Obviously we've got a ship up there. On top of it, the actual rowboat. So what I've done, I've tried to support it more. And you do see these. Obviously I've had to take out some of them like this one, and this one, and this one, to actually walk through, but I've left in the markers. So it still looks like they're kind of there. That's just what you have to do, especially with a ship this size. It's not huge, so I couldn't actually put all of those in, but I've still shown that they should be there, but you can't walk around if you put them in. You also notice all of this food hanging up, so that means that is where the cook is. This was kind of to serve a dual purpose. It was to kind of block your line of sight as well, so you can't actually see down, and then when you go into here it kind of feels a bit more open. I don't know, I think it works. It's the closest I could do to try and hide things, without hiding things, but make it more like a journey, I guess. Yeah, bowls and stuff there. So we've got all the food just hanging up. Tons and tons of biomes to get all of those ones. We've got a small stew pot here, so I don't know if you can see inside, but inside actually does, there we go, have some like stewy type stuff. We've got the black furnace, because it's in the ocean biomes. I could have changed it, but I actually like that one. I thought that one looked better for this. Right here we've got some knives there, we've got some fish and some apples, and we just got some general stuff. This is like for seasoning. That's what I was planning on using that for in a way. And obviously we've got the stuff hanging up. Pots and pans and just a couple of little supplies over here. And just some more supplies between these two guns. Nice little table. And we've also got, oh yeah, got a cauldron as well. Now, you can see that biome there, but if I change it, it changes this one. Or that one. Yeah, it changes one of these. So, yeah, I didn't go with that one in the end. I think this is, what, roof forest, yeah. Probably didn't change in this one, but yeah, some of the sides, it's really weird with the cauldrons. Two of the sides you don't have to change the biomes, but two of the other ones you do. So for example, I think here, oh, it's an ocean. I think ocean, oh, ocean does have that one maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, we have this bit. That's fine. Doesn't really matter too much if you walk from this side. So here we have the actual table. So this is where the crew would actually eat. Right next to the actual food here. You can see that there's a little chimney going up as well. Even though it goes through that hole, I did bring the chimney. Actually, yeah, I can. There we go. So the chimney goes up to that point. So if the boat wasn't there, it'd go around. But yeah. So yeah, crew eats here. So we've got a couple of bottles, like a bottle here, some water there, some food, and plates, things like that, as well as the empty bucket, or not bucket, but cauldron type thing. Also got a little gambling area here. So obviously they're going to be playing, and they've got gold coins on the table. That makes sense. More general junk in between these as well. That's just general junk just to fill it up, like bottles. Got the lighting as well, candles. Because obviously when you're firing the cannons, to actually light the gunpowder, candles make sense. Yeah, so they actually fit in really nicely. So there we go, got more gunpowdery type stuff. And all of this just keeps them going on like normal. Lots and lots of hay on the ground as well here. It's got some gold coins, some bottles. So obviously somebody's been a bit drunk and they've drop their coins, their loot, or whatever it is. So that goes into here. So then this gets a little bit darker around this corner. I was actually thinking about putting in an extra light, and I might do so. Let's do that. Let's throw in one here, for example. Yeah, it looks a bit... Nah, it looks the same. But anyway, yeah, that looks okay. And if I just grab this light, Actually, no, let's leave it. So here I've just done some very simple patterns with the stairs to make it look a little bit fancier. This is actually the captain's quarters. And remember how dark and very wood-like this feels? And then go into here. And look at how much more fancy that is. And that's what you kind of want to do, especially with sailing ships. Usually the captain, of course, being the richest person on the ship. And he's got his own big cabin to himself. Makes sense to fill it with colour. So what I tried to do here is make it a little bit darker around this area. So I tried not to go with too much colour, especially from this point. You'll just notice there's a little bit of hay, bottles, and just general stuff. It's not really very colourful. Like here is quite colourful. Also got the natural light from over there, but this time this kind of place goes a bit darker. Also, this thing is the where the steering wheel goes down. Not steering wheel. Yeah, it's a steering wheel, but isn't, you know, I'm sure I've got a real name for it. So that actually goes down through the ship, so I put that going down. Also the masts obviously are going through the ship, so everything just kind of works around with them. But yeah, I tried to make this as colourful as possible, if I can get inside. So that you actually get a feeling that this person is a lot richer, a lot more higher in status. So he's got a double bed and he's got an actual bed, like that. I think usually they still had hammocks, even captains, because it's a lot more comfortable than the rocking of a bed. Otherwise you would probably hit your head, whereas a hammock obviously would sway with the direction or list that you've got on your ship. But anyway, nice little simple table here with some water, some notes on the wall, more notes on the wall over here. This is kind of to symbolise the captain's log. We've actually got that, you know, written down. Right here we have the map, so he knows exactly where he's going, so you know, if he has his officers coming in, they can actually just stand here and just talk about, let's go over here and stuff. Yeah, so all that kind of little bits and pieces. Little bits of decoration as well, just using those paintings. Some books, because captains love to read. And then we got a nice little table here, like a desk. And I've used the, actually the Asian glowstone blocks, because they work the best, so I use actually these ones. I found they look the best out of all of them. Wondering how I did this desk. It's just two crafting tables. I've got a trapdoor, and I just world edited a, what's it called on there? Pressure plate with the actual paper, the scribe thing. So then you can write on there. Also used the flower pots for colour, just to colour it up a little bit fancier. So there we go. And also a nice little map there. I'm not too sure about that map. I might get rid of it, maybe. But also, obviously, you've got the lights as well, the natural light coming in. And I played a lot with the roof design to make it a lot more fancy than this. This has got a very functional roof in a way. We didn't really have that much room to play with, but because the deck goes up slightly, I had an extra block, I think. Yeah, it was just an extra block to actually play with. So then I just put in this with, you know, using the different types of wood. We've got the birch there, then we've got the dark oak, then we've got just oak. So I've just tried to pattern that and, you know, work my way around when I can, just to create a little bit more style, I guess. So here what I did is I had a stair. This one's got a block and then this one's got a stair, so it kind of staggers itself. And there you go, there's a stair. I think this one's supposed to be a block, actually. Yeah, that one's supposed to be a block. I think that didn't change, I think, when I was editing bits. But yeah, so I've tried to make this kind of in and out feeling here. Quite interesting. I like doing the roof type stuff. Anyway, let's run down here. All the way down. Let's go down the last deck, the actual hold. So there we go. So this feels a lot darker. That's what I wanted it to feel like. I'm actually going to grab my, there we go, redstone torch. So I've used only redstone torches down here. So it feels really dark. I mean, if I just wander around here, you can see that it does feel dark. It feels like a storage area. It feels like you would have to carry around a candle, which is always good. So let's start off with this area over in the back. Yeah, so we just got nets and boxes and crates and things, and I've just used the tripwire hooks. Tripwire hooks? Yeah, they are tripwire hooks for kind of watery type stuff, or beer or grog, I think they call it as well. Things like that. Just a couple more of these heads. This is actually the side of the ship, so I've tried to make it kind of meld in together. We've got lots of nets and things, lots of variation. We've got like plates around, we've got like heads and bottles and all the kind of general stuff that you need in storage. There we go, we've got more gunpowder, we've got more nets. Just general junk to fill it up. Even stuff like checkers boards and things. Down here, all of this stuff. And you'll notice there's two little rooms. So let's go and check these out. So on a ship, some of the more important people would actually have their own, well, usually shared rooms. So I think this one, probably a bosun and somebody else, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is just a small room for either 2 officers or somebody quite important. Very, very small because of the constraints that I've actually got on the ship. I could have, I guess, moved out 1 more block, but it would mean that I couldn't go around here, so, you know, I just made it really small. So just a small crafting table, box, and some beds. These are kind of like shelves. I didn't want to change the biomes, otherwise it might affect stuff upstairs. Also just using the knocker on top of those. And then in here we have the person in charge of the coins. I think it's called the purser. So this person would usually, this is the person that actually pays the crew, but also they obviously look after all the gold. They've got to make sure that people don't steal stuff. Usually this was a very older, much older person who would actually be looking after it. So, you know, a sailor that used to, you know, been sailing for ages, and then they've just kind of stopped, and, you know, but they still want to sail, but they can't fight anymore, or so they'd be looking after the money, looking after the wages. So when they go to port and they go, okay, I want this amount of wages, they would actually, you know, take out the money and give it to them, because traders can't be, sailors can't be trusted. So there we go, got that. More bottles and things, bottles out on the side, more storage, more of this wateries type stuff. I tried to use this bit in the centre to block the line of sight, so that you have to explore here, and then you go, ah, there's a big keg type thing, and this is actually fresh water. So that's where your fresh water is. And when we get around to the back here, this is where I've actually tied in the rudder, so you can actually see the natural light from there. So that's just yeah, this was kind of the best I could come up with. Usually it's got ropes around it, so when you turn the wheel, it would turn the ropes, and there's some sort of mechanism which makes this just turn the light to the side. It's kind of pretty complicated actually for a rudder. Someone it breaks is a pain in the ass to fix. Yeah, just gone with the very, very simple mechanism here, because we don't really have enough space to actually fill it out. But there you go, got natural light here and more stuff, just general junk in the back. Even though we can't even get there, I don't think we can. I think we can go through here. Yeah, that's about it. So you can't really get there, but still filling up space like here and having a nice view, and then this side kind of blocked it out with the net. But some more coins that have been lost, possibly, when looking around here. So there you go. But yeah, fresh water, nice little pail, and then we've got a nice little one down there, so somebody's had some fresh water and left it. But that's pretty much it. I don't think there's that much more. Yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this small walkthrough, and will enjoy the tutorial if you haven't already. But thanks for watching, guys. Comments as usual, and if you guys like this kind of thing, make sure that you tell me in the comment section. I'll start filling out more of my ships interiors and yeah, posting videos on them. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.